To me, they've had so many bad dialogue moments throughout all three movies.
But this one, they stopped to look at you.
They stopped the movie. They stopped driving the car to like, I'm going to tell you something right here and right now.
They do.
Ba-ba-ba is ba-ba-ba. Okay, we can keep going.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, don't you ever say that shit to me again.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, Double Toasted Live is coming to New York on September 10th. Hey, that's my big birthday weekend, so help me celebrate with you. You can get your tickets right now over at doubletoasted.com or go to x1entertainment.com/double-toasted-Brooklyn. Hey, there's a limited number of all access tickets and VIP tickets. They're going pretty fast, so go over there and get your tickets now. Hey everyone, support our Patreon, which helps us to continue bringing you our live streams, videos, and podcasts while bringing you new content such as exclusive live streams and animated shorts. All right, folks, the last couple of weeks on Netflix, you had the Fear Street Saga. We went from 1994 to 1978, and then that wasn't enough to tell you about the curse of Shadyville. No, we got to go back.
Shady Side.
Shady Side. Well, it's the same thing.
That's what Sunnyvale would say.
Shitty Side is what they call it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Either way it goes, no matter what it's called, it's not a good place. Why? Because there's a curse on this place, and people for years have been saying this town is cursed, and people been telling them, nah, you just a sorry mother. You can't get out this town. Just like everybody else. Yeah, you cursed. You cursed with a small mentality is what you got. But turns out there really is something supernatural and evil going on with this town that's keeping people there. And it's so much background behind it. We can't go back to 1978. We can't go back to 1969. We can't even go back to 1883. We got to go back to 1666. Oh, what an evil date that is.
Sure. If you ignore the one.
Yeah, if you ignore the one. I watched the movie. Just a quick aside, Ray. Y'all got to see this. There's a movie out there about 1999 being the year that's the sign of the beast. That's when Satan is coming back. And why? And it was that movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, End of Days, I think.
Yeah, that's it. End of Days and Gabriel Byrne.
And there's a dude who explained it why it is. He said, the sign of the beast is 666. It's not 666. It's 999. As in 1999. Be like, shut the f***.
Like, what about the one?
Ignore the one.
Forget that. That's part of my thing.
Even Satan is over there talking about no, wrong, no. But this here, apparently, it's not 1999. It's 666, as in 1666. Back when they used to hang and drown and burn witches, but one witch, she had such contempt for the people who murdered her that she said, you know what? You can kill me today, but I guarantee you, maybe it's not tomorrow, maybe it's not the next day, maybe it's 1994, I don't know.
Might be a few centuries.
Might be 1978, I don't know.
After it no longer matters, but I will be back for revenge.
But I'm going to hold the biggest grudge you've ever seen. The kind that's going to curse you and your children and your heirs. Let's go back to 1666 with Fear Street 1666 and see what the source of this curse is, or at least what our opinions of this movie about this curse is.
To feast on our misdeeds.
Oh, that man plucking that money.
I know.
And as darkness grows within each of us,
As they showed you right here, this is 3, not shows, but movies. 2-hour-long movies. 6 hours of fear, 6 hours of street. You had... Well, you better be glad I'm not writing.
Can we talk to you for a second? Mr.
Yeah, let's.
Yeah, it was great, right?
We want you for Space Jam. Now kill.
Yeah, about that.
We've already seen 1994. We've already seen 1978. And both of those episodes referenced a witch called Sarah Fear, F-I-A-R, Fear. You know, it's it actually is a spin on Fear. They do a lot of that in this show. They have you spin on names. But because of her and pretty much her witch, or her faux witch hunt lynching that she had, she put a curse on, what is it, Shady
Side.
Shady Side. And thanks to the modern day characters that we have from 1994 and 1978, we are figuring out exactly what it takes to break this curse. A curse that brings back psychopaths from different periods. No matter what you do to them, they come back with axes and knives and bats, and nothing seems to stop them. Now I'm trying to find here, let me see here, I'm trying to find actually the trailer for the other two. Not that I need to show them really, but this one I know a lot of people were looking forward to, because this one was not only going back and finally concluding the trilogy as far as getting down to the curse, but this one being the period piece, the most probably, I guess, what you would call the most expensive, or the one that needs the most production as far as a period piece goes.
Those are more expensive typically.
Yep. This would just show you give you a glimpse of some of the characters they had from before, and that's important because the character of Dina here, I'll show you a little
There
bit.
was a time when things were good on Shady Side.
Around with the skeleton hand, yeah.
He gonna him up. He ain't paying attention to nothing.
You know that.
Dina and her girlfriend Sam, but mainly Dina. Dina's the one who's having the biggest flashbacks in this episode about the life of the witch. What's her name? Fear. Sarah Fear. And it's funny because when they do that, when she has the flashbacks, she doesn't see the people back then as they were. She sees them as her friends and family, see Sarah Fear as herself. And it's funny because when you see that, because you've seen all these other characters in the more modern times, especially in 1994, when you see all those characters and then you see them playing all the characters in this 1666 period, it feels like a Simpsons Halloween special. As it goes along, they start having some, I like this for the gore and all the disturbing things that they do here. And this one is probably, as far as 1666 and the origins of what's going on, this one is the most up out of all of them. Because this one has, don't go in here loving animals and children, because they get rid of those quick. And it's also fascinating seeing what's happening with this town, because usually when they were blaming witches back at the time, especially like the Salem witch hunts and whatnot, a lot of that was false. There's something shitty going on in this town right here. Like something really is happening. And at first you think like, shit, they blame Sarah Fear, and I'm not going to tell you why because you see it in there, but you start thinking for a moment like, damn, did she do something? Is there a twist here that did she fuck this town up? People, do they have a reason to go out there and
With
do
her
that to her?
debauchery.
Yeah. If you've been watching the rest of the series, it's just about as corny as the rest of them. It's just about as it plays out like more of as a Goosebumps horror movie. And I would actually say that this one is the most Goosebumpiest of all of them for a certain reason. But it plays out that way. But there is something I did like the setting. I did like what they did with going back to that period. The accents, these are some old Lucky Charms ass accents they got up here. Not all of them work. Everybody just talk like this. Like I said, once they get to the point, and once the story starts coming in, they start showing you how all these characters connect. And then, of course, when the killing comes and all the gruesome things happen and the darkness sets in, it went back to why I had, and again, this sounds funny when I'm talking about killing animals and children and people dying in a village, but I had fun with it again. On, again, the most, the kind of the most exploitive horror level. No matter how much they try to set this as a period piece, it does almost play back to like, slashers slash horror movie types of tropes that they have here in horror movie tones. But they, not to spoil too much, they end that period piece halfway through the movie, and they end up back in 1994, and it's at that moment that it really does feel like a Goosebumps story. It feels like it feels like a Goosebumps rated R, not just book but movie. Like that Goosebumps movie that came out with Jack Black.
Yeah.
It feels like a rated R version of that.
You've just released every monster I've ever created. What was that?
You're such a cracker.
Yeah, take away the laughs, take away all those colors, and add more blood and death and darkness, and you have that. Now, that's not always working here, because you can take these stories getting kind of silly on a children's level. When they try to pull it off on this adult level right here, it doesn't always work. But there are times when it gets so insane that I thought, like, all right, that's a good idea. Being followed by these psychos. There's a scene where all these psychos go crazy. That's kind of fun. It almost, what they do is it almost has a Spielberg Stranger.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a Spielberg kids adventure, and then it feels like Stranger Things. I would even say that they're using the mall from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
In this. They saved some money and went there. That it's the same fucking mall. I almost
The
promise
DNA
you.
from Stranger Things has been all over this series.
Yeah.
Well,
has been.
it also helps that the director is the wife of one of the creators of Stranger Things.
All right.
So there it is.
Oh,
yeah,
I
it's
did not
kinda
know
already
that.
baked-
Go ahead,
Yeah, it's
though.
already baked in. No, I was gonna say in regards to your original point with like bringing in the actors from both part 1 and part 2 here for the period piece, and also your point. Yes, it does feel like a high school rendition of something like that. But I also think the purpose of that was to make you feel invested with these 1666 versions of the character. Because if we were just introduced to a whole bunch of new characters, I don't know who anyone, all these people are.
That's a good point.
And so this is like, okay, we have to fast track this because this whole thing, I enjoyed it, but man, they are cutting corners. It's getting so fast to the inevitable conclusion of what we want to end with, that big slasher fest. I mean, they literally introduce a character like, hey man, listen, we're going to introduce you, we're doing this to this guy, and we have to do this. Are you okay with it? Yeah. Sure.
They sure did. They brought that dude.
You know
in.
what I'm talking about?
Yeah, they did, and they tried to sell it like, oh, you got some skin in the game right here. You invest in this, but it's still
Not
like,
really.
they're
Yeah.
like, nah. You know what? You know what they do when you talk about they speed this up so fast. They do something that I don't like. I'm getting actually because I talk about this with sci-fi. I talk about how the aliens are. The humans get to know the aliens because we touch something. Oh shit, the visions.
Yeah, right.
Exposition.
We can speak the same language now.
Yeah, we get all the backstory, and they go in, they touch something, and it's like, oh, I've seen everything, and I'm just like, okay, I mean, just let's just call it for what it is. It's lazy writing at worst, it's shorthand writing at best.
Shorthand.
I'd say it's shorthand for the most part.
Yeah,
in regards to exposition plot stuff.
Yeah, and that is something I just don't like, and they do that here.
Yeah, that's fair.
But again, if this was something that was more of a smarter horror film and not something that was just kind of meant to be like a fun horror film, I might criticize that a lot harder. But I mean, don't let this period piece shit fool you. I mean, you are back here again for the scares. You're back here for the blood. You're back here for the gore.
Yeah, while I wasn't with it at first, halfway through that portion,
Yeah.
I really start to notice how well done the technical stuff is. And maybe once I got indoctrinated to, okay, they're sticking with these accents, I got more into the characters. And all that is, it has, so much of the disturbing part, the gore, and it's very, it's very adult. It's very serious.
Yeah.
Then you cut and go to 1994, and it's Scooby-Doo.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is so Scooby-Doo. And I can say that of the 3 episodes, I like this one the most because even though I'm talking about it being Scooby-Doo, I was enjoying that. I was cool with that.
Yeah, it goes. The reason why I said it's like a Spielberg or Stranger Things, which is, come on, that's Spielberg and Stephen King mixed together.
Yes.
But, I mean, we're talking about that old thing of defeating powerful supernatural creatures with water guns and squirt guns and and traps and shit.
Graffiti.
Yeah, exactly. It's that kind of silliness going on, man. And it's not that
yeah.
it's bad. It's just it's adventurous and it's fun and it's
It's tongue in cheek. It's tongue in cheek.
It's campy too, man, and they meant for it to be. Yeah, and I like that. It really did have a fun spirit about it, man, and it combined for me the goosebumps. Like I said, it didn't always work because they had some terrible lines in here.
Oh yeah.
There was one line in here to take it all. They said that shit seriously looking at the camera. And I was, don't you sit up here and say that shit to me.
I know exactly what that line is.
What is Is it about the bad person?
Yes.
Yeah. It was like, why you do this?
Oh, it was right in front of us.
I don't remember because to me they've had so many bad dialogue moments throughout all three movies.
But this one, they stopped to look at you.
They stopped the movie. They stopped driving the car to like, I'm going to tell you something right
Yep.
here and right now.
They do.
Ba-ba-ba is ba-ba-ba. Okay, we can keep going.
Oh yeah.
And I said, don't you ever say that shit to me again.
And they repeat it though multiple times. They have it in graffiti in the background just to emphasize it.
I did like the graffiti, man. Come and get us, face.
Yeah.
You. He was talking trash with that graffiti, man. Yeah, man. Somebody in the chat knows exactly what you're talking about.
What it is,
Furious Kirk. He said, I knew that was the line.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the line right there,
Corny
man.
as hell.
Yeah, I hated that line, but I did have fun with it at the end, man. And
Well, it's cathartic because it's finally like now we're getting all the answers, and now the guilty parties finally get what they deserve after all this.
Right.
After we've been bamboozled for 2 movies, 2.5 movies.
Yeah.
somebody said, thank you for the spoiler. We didn't spoil shit. We didn't
spoil
say anything.
nothing.
Nothing's spoiled.
What are we spoiling? We didn't say anything.
Yeah,
Don't get defensive. That's somebody just trying to get.
That's somebody, either you're too sensitive or you're trying to get a rise. But we didn't believe us. We did not spoil anything. Also, man, I was rooting for the villain for a little bit. He's another villain that was talking some good shit for a little while.
He was competent for a good portion of the movie.
First of all, he's slick.
Yeah.
But then but back in the early on in the movie, that he was actually saying something that was cool.
He was speaking
accurate.
some truth. There's some truth being spoken. I was like, all right, you have a good point.
Yeah, that right there, you got it, man. You got it. Again, just to drive my point home, imagine Goosebumps combined with Stranger Things and a rated R slasher film.
Yeah.
Or in the case of the period piece, a Blumhouse movie where, with a little bit more of a budget. Or think of it as a A24 movie with all the artistry moved away from it.
Oh yes, it's the Vivitch.
The Vivitch.
It's very much the bitch. Yeah, you're right.
It is the Vivitch. They have moments in there like that, except it's not as artsy. It's more bubblegum. So it's
Get to the point a little faster.
and it does. Yeah, it's meant to go in there and kind of give you blood instead of thoughtfulness.
Yeah, I always say it's to me it just keeps coming across as Stranger Things meets American Horror Story, except without acknowledging how campy it is.
Yeah. It's a matinee for me. I think they wrapped it up pretty good, even though they wrapped it up pretty fast. But look, man, I'd rather them just go ahead and get this shit done instead of trying to give me 2 more movies to explain. It ain't that deep what we need. Another film.
Mystery solved.
That was the thing I thought too by the time it was done, because I enjoyed, like I said, I enjoyed this one more than the other 2. But I was like, this story is not that deep. This reaffirmed my belief that there was no reason for 3 movies. I think the first 2 could have been clipped together as one, and then this could have been the other part. Because even this is clipped in half, like 2 movies.
Well, the other 2 were for people who liked it like me, they were just kind of to make straight out slasher films for people who like those, because I did like 1978. Like I said, my sadistic ass got off on seeing people being dismembered and shit.
Yeah, but it always look like maybe it's just my sensibilities, but like even a slasher film, even a good one, only needs about an hour and a half to tell what it's got to tell. It's not really deep enough for the 2 hours most of the time, unless they got some real clever idea. And here they don't.
Actually, I would give it to you that I wish they were an hour and 30 minutes because they didn't need to be that long.
Yeah, just 2 hours. It just kind of grinds you
There's
down.
a lot of shit that's 2 hours these days that don't need to be. I don't need to be hanging out with the Looney Tunes for 2 hours.
Exactly. And this is another one of those. But I will give this a very high rental. Like I said, I did. Once it got past the beginning, I did enjoy it.
Yeah. I saw the credit scene, by the way. Somebody says a credit scene teasing
Yes, there
more.
is.
I got it. I saw it.
Yeah, because they want to turn this in a franchise.
Yeah.
What they're going to do is they're going to turn it into, I don't know if they'll...
Anthology series.
Do you think they'll do anthologies, like a different story like the books?
It might be just like, okay, this is this one self-contained movie, then we'll do the next one. They might do it set up, or no, we got trilogies planned.
Yeah.
With introducing new characters and things, dealing with different horror subgenres. But yeah, just back to the film itself. I really enjoyed it. Like you said, it takes some, both of you said, it cuts a lot of corners when it comes to the writing and just plot and expositions. Like, we got to get to the end so we can all have fun.
Yeah.
When we eventually do get back to 1994 and when we do get into those ridiculous antics, and it's like, how did you? I don't know how you managed to put this all together, but it's working for me. It's working for me. The fact that we're battling evil with squirt guns. I think there's something really charming about that, and the actors hold their own in those scenes, and I feel like they were having fun with that too. And I like the villain reveal. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
But overall, it's all across the board matinees, and this one is a matinee for me as well.
They just need a talking dog.
Yes. there was a dog in there for a little while.
He didn't talk for long.
No.
If he did talk, he said something to piss him off. He said the wrong goddamn thing.